Yeah, I did change, and I'm really glad I changed.
This One's Wife, Texas Tedium. This One's Wife appeared on International Women's Day to preach at people. The Daily Mail, with Charlie Langston, covered the event. Let's dive in and find out what happened, what was said, and people's reaction to it. This One's Wife put her most fashionable foot forward as she marked International Women's Day in true Hollywood style by appearing on a celebrity-studded panel at South by Southwest, while her husband, Prince Harry, cheered her on from the front row. The 42-year-old Duchess of Sussex joined actress Brooke Shields and longtime news anchor Katie Couric on stage at the prestigious festival, where she was leading a panel discussion about breaking barriers and women's representation. Beaming with pride, rictus grin receipt of fuel, as she walked out on stage, having been introduced to the crowd as This One's Wife, the Duchess of Sussex, hypocrisy, use of a title, though she claims she doesn't want anything to do with the royal family. This One's Wife then took her seat alongside her fellow panellists for the discussion, during which she candidly opened up about the hatred she received while pregnant with her children. The Duchess of Sussex, who travelled to Austin from her $14.65 million home in Montecito on Thursday, leaving the kids behind as usual, looked radiant in a silver beige, I think it's more greige, isn't it, $1,000 Giluva heritage silk maxi skirt and matching $975 button-up shirt, a look that she accessorised with some chunky gold earrings. I'm not going to comment about the outfit in this particular video. You can wait for me to do that separately. It deserves its own video. Throughout the panel discussion, Harry, 39, was seen gazing up at his wife from the front row, joining his fellow guests in applauding This One's Wife, whom he joined for a date night on Thursday at the Austin venue of Private Members Club, Soho House. Well, Harry's been dragged along, the leash has been yanked, and therefore he has to be in attendance, being a good boy. Maybe he got a doggy treat popped in his mouth later on. Prince Harry was joined in the front row by the couple's very close friend, Soho House mogul Marcus Anderson, who was instrumental in bringing the Sussexes together in the early days of their relationship. So they managed to bring along Marcus, but don't manage to bring along the children again. Let's just have a pause there and think through that in less than the last year, This One's Wife has been to New York without the children. That was in May. Then again in November without the children. That she's been to the Caribbean for a break without the children, to Jamaica for the premiere of the film without the children. She went to Dusseldorf without the children, Portugal without the children, Whistler without the children, various concerts without the children, and here she is now popping down to Texas without the children. The Duchess began by gushing about her excitement to be joining the panel, before going on to tout the many female-focused initiatives, facade management, that she and Prince Harry work on through their non-profit, the Archwell Foundation, dedicating 1 hour per week. I'm so excited to be here, and to be with such incredible women. Flattery. So much brilliance on this panel. Mainly myself. And this is just an amazing way to celebrate International Women's Day, she said. She then went on to discuss a wide range of topics, including hatred she has received on social media, particularly when she was pregnant with her children, Archie and Lilibet, the need for more inclusivity and accurate representation of women and mothers in media, fighting to protect children and young people from dangers of social media, while praising Prince Harry for being an incredible partner and hand-on dad, retold her story about leading a campaign to change sexist soap commercial. I'll be addressing that in a separate video. When asked about the Archwell Foundation's decision to fund a recent report calling for true representation for mothers on TV, this one's wife explained that she and Harry, or rather she, and Harry was told to, had chosen to get involved with the project for 3 key reasons. 1, it makes me look good. 2, it makes me look good. 3, it makes me look good, she explained. Oh, sorry, those are my notes. I've explained elsewhere that this is preposterous with regard to this whole idea of the accurate representation of women, that she's not only trying to jump on another bandwagon that has been going for some time, that it is rather insulting to suggest that the general public don't realise that television is a form of escape from reality. And I took that to task in my video yesterday. No shit, Sherlock. Do have a watch of that. You'll be much amused. She went on to state, "My husband and I, our foundation helped to fund it because I think from our standpoint, and certainly from mine, there are 3 key reasons why it felt vital to see the information they were going to be pulling from this report," she said. "On a personal level, I've just always loved understanding women and our stories, and our lived experiences, and our shared experiences, so I was really curious to see what the report was going to uncover. Oftentimes, as women, the way that we see ourselves is reflected back to us, sometimes accurately, and sometimes, much to our disservice, inaccurately, in what we see in media. So to be able to have the findings, to uncover what we do to propel that, to make sure women are really feeling seen in a way that is reflective of who and how we are, and how we move through the world, felt important. From a philanthropic standpoint with our foundation, there is obviously a lot of work to be done in supporting women and moms. You can begin with paid leave." Hello, audience, you can wake up now. That bit of word salad is finished. Yes, it is sleep-inducing, isn't it? The usual beige tripe that spills from her lips. She went on to note that Archwell's production arm is focusing more on its own representation of women and mothers as it expands its slate of projects. Well, I wonder when those will appear, both on screen and in podcasting. This one's wife went on to open up about the hatred she received online, talking about herself again, while pregnant with her children Archie, now 4, and Lilibet, now 2. "I keep my distance from social media right now for my well-being, but the bulk of the bullying and abuse I was experiencing in social media and online was when I was pregnant with Archie and with Lily, and with a newborn with each of them," she said, after being asked about the trolling she has faced. "You just think about that, and to wrap your head about why people would be so hateful. It's not catty, it's cruel. Why would you do that when you're pregnant or as a mum at such a tender and sacred time?" Now, there are 2 things that come out of this. First, her total hypocrisy. But I'm going to be talking about that in a separate video, which comes up shortly, so I'll park that for now. The other aspect is, quelle surprise, here she is again, playing the victim. "Oh, people were nasty to me online. Boo-hoo-hoo. Yes, this was a number of years ago, but people were nasty to me, you know. I don't understand why people are nasty to me. Playing the victim, playing the victim, playing the victim. It's boring, it's nonsensical, and it's repetitive. And yet, of course, she does it because that's the style of narcissist that she is. As a mid-range narcissist, she looks upon the world as a cruel and hateful place towards somebody that's only trying to do her best to make it better. That people, when they criticize her, her narcissism tells her that's hatred. Undoubtedly, she has received some gratuitous ad hominem attacks. Of course she has. But a lot of what she receives online is valid criticism. But her narcissism translates that into hate, perpetuating her own victim narrative. But surely, as an independent, strong feminist, you would just put that to one side and talk about something positive, talk about something constructive. But she doesn't, because she isn't an independent, strong feminist. She's a woman that's always relied on men. She is weak. She is a coward. And she cries foul repeatedly because her narcissism understands that that is an effective way to control people and draw fuel from them by those individuals, and they're diminishing in number, feeling sorry for her. She then went on to praise Harry for being an incredible partner and a hands-on dad, probably as a consequence of the fact that she doesn't do anything. While opening up about the dizzying impact that social media can have on a new mum, this one's wife praised the support that she receives from Prince Harry, flattery, he's evidently in a respite period, describing him as an incredible partner and a hands-on dad to their 2 kids. So, once again on International Women's Day, she demonstrates how she relies on a man. The effect that social media can have on new mothers, even just the lack of sleep because they spend all this time scrolling and scrolling, she said. That demonstrates to me once again that she doesn't do much mothering at all. From what I've witnessed of other women who have had children, those within my family, intimate partners that I've had in my past who have had children, the last thing that they were doing would be scrolling on social media. They would be either trying to catch up on some sleep, breastfeeding, trying to soothe a crying child by holding them, walking them around, winding them, changing shitty nappies, perhaps dealing with the other children in the family. The last thing they had time to do was sit and scroll and scroll. And that is demonstrative of the fact that this one's wife is not a hands-on mother whatsoever. Not only do we recognise that she'll allow the nannies to do it, and for Doria to do it, and for Harry to do it, but the fact that she thinks that new mothers don't get any sleep because they spend all this time scrolling and scrolling. They don't get any sleep, you nincompoop, because they're repeatedly woken up by a demanding crotch goblin that wants feeding. So they have to flop out a boob and start suckling them in the middle of the night, and then burp the child. And then just as they are getting back off to sleep, the child wakes up a bit later because they've got some wind and they cry and they need to be dealt with. And then they've shat in their nappy and it needs to be changed. I have a sister. She's told me all about this. I recognise what makes new mothers tired. This one's wife doesn't, because she's never actually done any mothering. She bangs on by saying it can also be really dizzying for them to see this portrayal of motherhood that looks so perfect, when we all know that it's not perfect. We all know that it's messy. Well, you only know that it's messy as a consequence of what the nannies and Harry have told you. I'm fortunate that in amongst the privileges that I have in my life, I have an incredible partner. My husband is such a hands-on dad and such a supporter of me, oh yes, it's all about you, and of my family, that I don't take for granted that is a real blessing. Where's the support that you show for him and his family? Oh, you don't, do you? But a lot of people don't have that same level of support. So for us, it's just trying to put the safeguards in so women, and mums especially, cannot feel like they're even more vulnerable when they go online, so they can somehow feel like they are going to a safer place. Look, the online environment is a difficult one, and if you don't like it, simply don't go there. Now, of course, the dishwasher commercial got mentioned, but I'm going to tackle that in a separate video because that'll be entertaining. Thus, this one's wife comes along and unleashes Tedium in Texas, telling us things that we've heard before, spouting her beige word salad, wearing a sack, and praising Harry. There's nothing about this that's insightful, other than enabling you to see once again her self-absorbed narcissism in action, demonstrating how she isn't a hands-on mother at all because she makes comments that demonstrate that that's the case. But what's the reaction of those to what they've seen and what they've read about how she has gone on in the course of this? What do people have in terms of their observations? Glenn, what has she done other than marry someone? No career or business. Doesn't speak to the family on either side. If it's all the same with you, I shall look for advice elsewhere. Sue, 5546310. It's rather funny how she's only up there because of who she married and still using the title given for the marriage while talking about female empowerment. What barriers did she break exactly? Chris, I don't understand how someone becomes a feminist icon by marrying a prince. Isn't this perpetuating the patriarchy? There are so many highly accomplished women who are successful through their own achievements. We should be looking at them as examples for our youth. Itchy Bits. Her biggest accomplishment was bagging a prince. How does that qualify for any panel? You can buy as much silk as you like. It doesn't change a thing. That silk has been paid for by sending her family and the royal family down the stream. Miranda. My unironed bedsheets are smoother than that outfit and a lot more colourful. Chaos 54. You've got to give her A for consistency in the Hot Mess Express department. Midwest. Doesn't being a parent include children being able to interact with grandparents? For instance, her father and other relatives. I loved our family get-togethers. Autocorrect. How insulting to the women who have built massive businesses, made important scientific breakthroughs, or achieved high offices in major organisations. If you want someone from the film industry, they should start with Sherry Lansing. Match point. And to the women who have quietly and tirelessly supported their families, and to the women who have cared for the sick and needy without seeking any recognition. Sleone. Please make this stop. A nobody before she met Harry, and still a nobody. Lee 59. Duchess of Nothing. They don't represent Sussex. She comes off as so needy for their attention. Busy girl. And she's taking centre stage because of who she's married to. Not exactly groundbreaking or empowering. Tom 2019. Markle speaking on a stage in front of many. A person who does not speak or contact her family. Then, within a very short time of her marriage, she done the same with her in-laws. Earth Mother. Ooh, beige. The colour the royal family made her wear. How nice. LMF. If I waited to hear about what she has done to help women or be an advocate for women, I would be waiting until I died. Gentian Blue. She married a prince. This seems to be the way ahead for women. Eilena. Wows in silk brings to mind sow's ears and silk purses. Lofty Mare. How can someone who's actively supported her husband in publicly tearing down his sister-in-law and stepmother sit on a stage and talk about empowering women with a straight face? Nobody's fooled by you, this one's wife. They all see you for the hypocrite that you are. The fact that on International Women's Day you purchase a place on a panel because nobody would invite you otherwise and sit there spouting your usual fridge magnet platitudes and word salad, beiging away as the world looks at you and thinks, the only reason you're there is because you married a man. You know nothing about female empowerment. You're not a feminist. Naturally, she's completely blind to all of this because of her narcissism, and once again, she's just a laughingstock, demonstrating her hypocrisy on an international scale. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.